professional jealousy.
Well, on the big podcast with Shaq said Angel actually called me after that rant. And he said, quote, she was upset and she asked me, why didn't you say nothing?
Shaq O'Neal just dropped a bombshell on Angel Reese by calling Caitlin Clark the real deal in her face. Let's be honest, that was probably the most embarrassing thing she has ever experienced. This wasn't just any guy talking her up. Shaq was her biggest supporter and had always believed in Clark's abilities, but now because
you know I'm down. She was like, she's not gonna hit that shot, and bam, like damn, she's not gonna hit that shot, man. Like if I say 10 times you're not gonna hit the shot and you hit the shot.
After witnessing Clark dominate the league for a year, Shaw has publicly declared himself a member of Clark's side and boasted about having a fever. The Jersey Angel likely believed that having Shaw on her podcast would give her a chance to shine, but instead he put Clark front and center, leaving Angel with little except the video fallout of Shaq's candid and rather caustic appreciation for Caitlin.
So I'm the type that when I see something that I don't agree with, I get pissed off.
Shaq said, I had to call Reese and tell her to stop reading comments. You don't owe an explanation to anybody because she jumped on me. Why did you say nothing to Charles, is what Angel Reese told Charles Barkley. And he said she's being too sensitive.
Since this isn't simply another analyst praising Clark, you might be wondering why Shaq's compliments hit Angel Reese so hard. Mars praise. Shaq the Shaw has been a devoted follower of Reese since the day Angel transferred from Maryland to LSU. She was pumped up by Shaw, her strongest supporter, as if she were the second coming of his own power. His preferred player was Reese, who added that fierce, unapologetic edge to each and every match.
She's a hell of a player. Like she does things I can never do. Like she can really shoot. And she's really good at the free throw line.
However, Shaw's support went beyond simple shout-outs. Rather, he was her mentor, helping her navigate the tumult of social media trolls and detractors. He would advise her to disregard the noise, maintain her composure, and concentrate on the important things. She was reminded by Shaq that she was fortunate to be in the league and that many others would aspire to be in her shoes. Shaq gave her advice to work more, be wiser, and let the detractors choke on their own words. Reese has the ability to win over even her most ardent detractors.
You gotta show up. You gotta buy jerseys. You gotta buy shoes. You gotta do that. They're starting to do that now. And that's because of, how you played and Caitlin, the thing you had, that the game is more popular than ever now.
Afterwards, Caitlin Clark emerged, bringing with her a flair and talent that caught Shaq off guard. At first, Shaq wasn't convinced of Clark and wasn't exactly planning on becoming her biggest fan. He watched her games with that iconic side eye, anticipating that she would lose it under duress. But then Clark's Final Four performance arrived and quickly changed Shaw's mind.
Me and Chuck, we go through this a lot. A lot of time when we critique these guys, these youngsters and these females, they don't understand that all the stuff that they're getting ready to go through, we are the masters of that. So I was just, telling her how to handle adversity.
Shaq's initial doubts about Caitlin Clark, in my opinion, stemmed from his pressure standards. You see, Shaq is a guy who doesn't just give out praise like it's free popcorn, so when a new talent emerges, he watches with his eyebrows raised. He was also skeptical of Clark's ability to handle high-stakes games that pushed players to their absolute limit. In Shaw's mind, if you can't hit the clutch shots with everyone watching, your game isn't up to par, and Clark, with her love of long-range shooting, seemed like a bit of a gamble to him.
You need to do what you do. But I have a solution for that nobody's going to like my solution.
I'm here.
So, let me explain why I came up with this solution first.
But this is where things start to get interesting. As the NCAA tournament progressed, Shaq's doubt gradually gave way to grudging respect. Clark wasn't just scoring goals. She was making ridiculously long shots in every game, all of which had everyone riveted to their screens by the time Iowa was battling its way to the Final Four. Clark delivered cool as ice, knocking down shot after shot with the defenders practically in her face. Shaq was all eyes on Clark, waiting to see if she would falter or thrive under that intense pressure. Each bucket was like another nail in Shaw's doubts until he finally had to admit he was mistaken.
I really want to come in and say, do this and do that. I was just coming in, giving her encouraging words, just telling her, to hang in there. Because when you're the best player and you play for a great coach like Kim Mulkey, they stay on you.
However, Shaq's agreement was concluded in a single game. She didn't just throw it up. Instead, She nailed it with this effortless confidence that left Shaq speechless in that moment. Clark went from maybe she has something to she is the truth. Iowa was in a tight spot with every single point counting when she made this three-pointer from the logo. You read that right.
Curry, I love, you know why I love Steph Curry? Because I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. I've seen it a little bit in Mahmoud Abdul-Roh, but I've never seen a guy consistently come down. And if you look at what she's doing, stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent basis. There's a lot of girls in WNBA that.
Additionally, the first analogy that came to me when Shaq calls someone the truth is that they are unique in a way that transforms the sport itself. Curry, Steph the 3-yes in Clark's signature made Shaq think of the revolution. There have been many talented shooters since Curry began playing in the NBA, but his consistency from deep downtown was something else entirely. He made the three-point line a weapon that could change a game in seconds.
Best player, you're expected to do everything. So I just told her, I said, listen, I know your coach is a little hard on you, but you have to accept it because you're the best player.
She was redefining what a women's player could do on the field by demonstrating that three-pointers could provide just as much excitement as a dunk. And she saw how it attracted attention to the game and how each long-range shot had spectators on the edge of their seats. Shaq became enthralled as he watched her execute these fearless shots that were above Reese's previous reputation. Reese's approach remained outstanding, but Clark's skill suddenly became more exciting and unexpected. Reese's game was centered around power and rebounding, but Clark's ability to make threes from wherever on the court had Shaq giddy.
Game I'm watching in the Final Four, I'm like, damn, and I was a hater because, I'm down. She was like, she's not going to hit that shot, and bam, like, damn, she's not going to hit.
All of this contrasts sharply with players like Angel Reese, who offer that dependable strength-based style. Don't get it wrong. Shaw still appreciates the muscle Reese brings to the paint, but Reese's inside dominance feels more conventional than Clark's edge-of-your-seat play style. Shaw is drawn to Clark's unpredictable nature, and he doesn't hide it. Reese is all hustle and bustle, but Clark's surprising long-range shoots add a level of intrigue that's impossible to ignore.
What she did after Charles Barkley, he had his big rant about the jealous women of the WNBA to shut up, being petty about Caitlin Clark and everything else. Well, on the big podcast with Shaq said Angel actually called me after that rant. And he said, quote, she was upset and she asked me, why didn't you say nothing?
The change in Shaq's seal is generating a new dynamic it must hurt for Reese, whose once assured spotlight is now shared with Clark, the player who is restoring Shaw's focus with every game. That Shaq is now singing Clark's praises louder than ever and placing her front and center in his admiration. Shaq was all in on Reese from the get-go, her loudest supporter, mentor, and go-get-them guy. Shaw's admiration for Clark's style of play goes beyond a casual interest. It's a full-fledged recognition that she is bringing women's basketball to a new level and into a new era.
No, see? And
I hate when men say that.
But listen, that's the only difference.
We start dunking and what?
Watch. We got you.
Now, let's actually contribute to what's enabling all of this buzz. The competition between Clark and Reese. Shaq's observed that this Clark, according to Shaq, Clark versus Reese is developing a plot that keeps viewers riveted to the screen for Shaq, and Reese dynamic is bringing drama that the league sorely needs rivalries to drive sports. This rivalry could be the catalyst that makes the WNBA an event that fans want to watch, and Shaw recognizes that. But with all of this acclaim for Clark comes a harsh reality for Reese. It's precisely what women's basketball needed to create a story that supporters can support and invest in, possibly drawing in a completely new audience. Shaw's appreciation for Clark isn't only changing his perspective, it's also becoming center stage. Once considered a potential league icon with Shaq's full support, Reese now shares the stage with Clark, a player who Shaq believes has the ability to genuinely broaden the WNBA's appeal. It's not just about Clark's skill, though. It's also about her charisma, charm, and ability to make every game feel like an occasion. Shaw's subliminal hint that Clark could be the one to lead women's basketball into the future.
Guys got some handles. Girls got some handles. Oh, we got this. We got that. Oh, we got talkers. Oh, we got brawls. Only thing is missing is the dunk.
This change is much than simply a setback to her pride. It's a sign that she may no longer have Shaq's backing alone. Despite Shaq's early allegiance, It appears that he has since switched his attention toward Clark, who is not just a talented player but also a true game changer in Shaq's eyes. Clark's ascension has made it abundantly evident that Reese now has fierce competition not only for titles but also for influence and visibility.
I'm telling you.
I don't think
what?
so.
Bro, you dunking and getting, man, trust me in the change. Trust me in the change. I'm telling you right.
so.
Bro.
And what could be more eye-catching than Shaw O'Neal, a man who invented the dunking technique and is suggesting a complete revamp of women's basketball just because of Clark? Yes, Shaw's most recent proposal to lower the rim is his grand vision to increase the excitement, a move he thinks could draw in audiences who are hungry for that slam dunk show. It's easy math. He thinks that since dunks are the NBA's greatest moments, women's basketball should also have the same rush, and Shaw has one player in mind for this possible revolution: Caitlin Clark.
I like how y'all are starting to get into fashion. Bro, a pretty girl dunking on the rim, I'm watching that all the time. You laughing.
My man is not turned on by no woman that's dunking.
It ain't about being turned on.
Although Shaq's suggestion sparks a lot of discussion, it also increases the buzz surrounding Clark's ascent. If the WNBA ever considers lowering the rim, Clark would be in a prime position to redefine the sport, drawing fans with both her dunks and her shooting prowess. Shaw sees even more potential if she can take it to the air. He's a big fan of her fearless long-range shooting and ball handling, but in Shaw's vision, Clark would be soaring above the rim dunking with the same intensity she brings to those deep threes. Yes, but Shaq's support lends it a weight that makes it difficult to overlook.